About the rest of you?
I just don't think that Kamala Harris has anything vested in the air finger quote black or Hispanic experience in so much as it would be identified by anybody that lives in those communities.
You're saying you don't think that she can help black or brown people?
No, I mean, going to Howard don't make you black.
A conversation that quickly turned to this moment.
You feel some kinship towards her as a mixed person?
Not personally. I find a lot of her trajectory to not be my brand of woman leader. We've got 3 major international crises going on and someone applying to be commander-in-chief. As a woman, I want to see you do more than, appeal to giggling and having a girl moment on the stage.
You feel some kinship?
Woo! Oh, MSNBC didn't want to hear that. Oh, the Obamas didn't want to hear that. Big Mike. Oh, Big Mike. Oh, Hillary didn't want to hear that. The lefties didn't want to hear that. Oh, yeah, they did not want to hear that. People are fed up, man. People are fed up. Surprised MSNBC didn't cut the feed. Oh boy, she even got some news from her fellow CNN companions. Some of her best friends. Some of her best friends. Oh boy. Oh, CNN. Fake news. Enemy of the people. Enemy of the people.
It wasn't a huge, I don't think she moved the ball that much forward. I don't think there's a policy separation that they've created with Biden. Obviously, she gave a kind of personal defense of him.
Now, you might not like the way she answered him, but she answered him as a capable, qualified leader. And I do think she moved the ball forward a little bit. Maybe she didn't score a touchdown.
I think the 2 biggest issues coming out of Biden for her are the economic policies, which she clearly wants to embrace, but also the immigration policies. Dana asked her if she had anything to say about what they did for 3.5 years leading up until the back and forth this year. Completely sidestepped it, did not answer it. She goes back to her time as Attorney General. But again, absolutely nothing, no responsibility, no reflection at all on the day one executive actions or anything else they did for 3.5 years or anything she said in her previous campaign, which was to have the most permissive immigration structure. She's trying to skip a block of time at the debate. Trump cannot allow it.
In Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020. Question, I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes, and starting... There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes, and starting with what we can do on day one around public lands, right? And then there has to be legislation. But yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. And to your point, we have to just acknowledge that the residual impact of fracking is enormous in terms of the impact on the health and safety of communities. Yeah, so thank you.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on...
The fact check, bottom line, Abby, is that she did not actually make clear at a 2020 debate that she had changed her previous support for a fracking ban. So let me take you through this kind of saga. So here's what she said at a CNN climate town hall in 2019 on the subject of a fracking ban.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
That was quite clear. So she ended her 2020 presidential run in December 2019. The only debate she participated in 2020 was the general election debate with then Vice President Mike Pence. And I went over the transcript of that debate tonight. Nowhere in there does she make clear that she had abandoned her previous support for a fracking ban. Rather, she repeated that Joe Biden, the head of the Democratic ticket at the time, would himself not ban fracking. So listen to what she actually said in that 2020 debate.
Joe Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about that. I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking.
So it makes perfect sense that at the time she was speaking on behalf of Biden, the president, not the vice president, sets administration policy. But maybe other people feel differently. I certainly did not hear anywhere in there Kamala Harris saying that she personally had abandoned her previously expressed 2019 view. Rather, again, she was speaking for Joe Biden.
Whoosh. Like they say, you just can't make this up. Boy, what's going on, beautiful people, them beautiful patriots? If you stayed, this long towards the end of the video or the middle of the video, I know some of y'all seen them first clips and then you clicked off. It's all right, man. I know how y'all do, man. It's all right. But if you still stay, we got a good rest of the video. We're good rest of the show, man. And y'all are gonna have a good time with. But hey, we got to save America, man. We are in a fight to get our country back, y'all. Sick of these liars, these failures. All this brainwashing. Wiping Trump through the mud, and then talking about then they say he's gonna take our freedom. He's gonna take this away. He's gonna take that away. And now Kamala's going viral for saying that she's gonna shut down X. Yeah, she's gonna shut down Elon Musk. Elon Musk's platform now. Oh yeah, good job. Hey, yeah, it's a big thing, man. Censorship, y'all. And as we know, a lot of content creators, a lot of people have been wiped, especially around the 2020. Around that, around the election. It's you just can't make this stuff up, man. But hey, we blame Trump for everything. Blame Trump for this, the border bill, which was allowing millions to come through. Also was funding the war. No way, we blame Trump on everything. Blame Trump on everything. You guys had 12 out of the 16 years. And we blame Trump for everything. Trump's going to be a dictator on day one. Project 2025, which is not is not a Trump's presidency. Sorry to break it to you. It's not a Trump's presidency. He's a racist. He's Hitler. He's this and that. Bunch of crap. Bunch of crap, lies, hatred. And that's all they spew out, man. But I'm so glad. I'm so happy. It makes me proud that a lot of people are waking up. Even the never Trumpers, anti-Trumpers, blacks, Hispanics, the Gen Z, everybody is waking up. And quite frankly, a lot of people are just sick and tired, especially of what took place these last 3.5, 4 years. A lot of people are struggling. Millions are struggling. Millions are dying. And for a ton of people, their tax dollar is funding. Don't even make me go there, man. They're giving away free homes. They're giving away money. They're giving away free food, free health care for illegals. 0% down, $150,000 on a new home. I'm telling you, man, it got to come to a point where people just start, just boycotting, striking. People just stop paying their taxes. I mean, just completely stop. We taxed on everything. People are struggling and dying. We the people. But that's what Democrats do. They put hard-working American citizens last. They put we the people last. Last. About to wake up, man, before it's too late. Keep telling everybody. Come on, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Conducted her first interview as a presidential candidate. It's kind of hard to call it that, considering it was pre-recorded, only 18 minutes, and highly edited. I'd say it was more of a political performance than an actual genuine interview. It's been a month and a half of Kamala Harris's presidency, and we have 18 minutes. The left is doing what the left always does. Wow, how presidential, how eloquent, how amazing. Every Blue Anon shill is pretending as if that was the greatest interview performance of all time. But once again, I'm sitting here asking myself the exact same question. Are we watching the same thing? That was absolute frickin' trash. I feel as though I've learned nothing. Kamala needed a big score here, but I think this was anything but. Let's have a conversation about it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Okay, so we got Kamala Harris's first CNN interview as a presidential candidate, and it was nothing short of a masterclass in political dodging. From start to finish, a total clinic on how to avoid giving a straight answer to even the most straightforward of questions. You'd think that a seasoned politician like Kamala Harris, someone who's been in the public eye for years, would have come more prepared to give a compelling, clear vision for her candidacy, but instead we got vague platitudes, evasive language, and really no substance behind any of it. What did we learn here from Kamala Harris? We learned essentially that nothing is ever her fault, she's had a perfect track record on all the issues, and of course the next expected step, everything's Donald Trump's fault, even the southern border.
During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock, and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl what passing that bill would have done to address their concern and a pain that they've experienced.
So you would push that legislation again? I just want to
Not
ask
only
about
push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
Just one other.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like most people probably weren't satisfied with these answers. All it is the same talking points that we've been hearing from.
And again, I showed y'all how they were responding in the beginning of the video. If you stay to this ending part, I just wanted to check out Liberal Hive Mind's full breakdown because look, shout out to my brother, man. He does an amazing job as well, man. You know, a lot of these people are already subscribed to this channel, but I'll leave the link in the description box down below just in case you're not. But he does an amazing job as well, putting these clips together and giving a huge, you know, talk around everything. Cause it's ridiculous, man. It's crap. And I don't see how people are clapping for this. Is it just me or something's not processing? You know, how are people clapping for these failures, man? For these puppets? And they should have just continued what they were doing and kept their puppet hidden. Meanwhile, Trump and Vance are knocking it out the ballpark. Even if they get treated rude, nasty, disrespectful, they've done in the last week, they've done almost 20 hours of interviews. They do an interview a new interview is dropping every single day. Trump is going on everybody's podcast, from Gen Z influencers to top people influencers to everybody. They're going to places they don't want to go. They're going into enemy territory. They're going on the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the ABC. They're answering questions. They're talking about policy. They're talking about the mess. They're talking about the mess they created, man. But hey, we're gonna blame Trump for everything. You know. I was in the it was like a Blacks for Trump stream, and it had, man, thousands and thousands of people were watching and on there, and I was in the chat, and and everybody was like commenting like, what's one of the policies you love about Trump, or one of the and there was like one of the things you like that would act. Everybody was like, drill baby drill, drill baby drill, drill baby drill, and then I put the Common Sense Act 2020 Trump 2024. And they had it pinned to the top the rest of that live, man. That live lasted almost 2 or 3 hours, man. And boy, I tell you, it was so many people that came and stopped by, so many people that were, you know, that were so loving. And also it was tons of Kamala Harris voters in there trying to prove a point in the comment section. They couldn't even back up what they were saying. And they're probably thinking, man, I might need to get on this Trump train. Yeah. It's a lot of people waking up, man. A lot of people waking up, you know. Just saying. People are sick and tired, man. Sick and tired.
Every Democrat bought over the last however many months. Donald Trump spiked the border bill because he wanted a political win. I mean, really, you have to do this again? He spiked a bill that would have increased funding for Border Patrol and hired more agents. Border Patrol supported this bill. Yeah, no shit. You're talking about giving them billions in taxpayer dollars. No wonder they supported it. But the question is, would it have secured the border? Would it have fixed the problem? And the answer is clearly no. We know why Trump and other Republicans advocated against the bill, and that's simply because it was more wasteful spending and totally unnecessary. What really needs to be done to secure the border, most of it, is actually rhetoric. A rhetoric change from the White House, you know, maybe less promise of free crap for illegal migrants. I mean, that would help. California is now talking about giving $150,000 loans to illegal migrants to buy homes. I wonder what that's going to do to real estate prices in the state. You know, maybe stop that nonsense and reenact some of the Trump-era border policies that were clearly so effective. No one's asking you to reinvent the wheel. What people want is for the wheels to be reinstalled onto the vehicle. You know, the perfectly functional wheels that the Trump administration had rolling just fine. But of course, here we go. Kamala Harris, who's been an absolute disaster on the issue of the southern border, takes zero accountability and just blames Trump. Holy frickin' moly, and the hypocrisy.
My value around what we need to do to secure our border. That value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed.
You know, I know Democrats are praising Kamala Harris as being so well-spoken and presidential and just amazing and professional, but I don't read it like that at all. I just see another slick politician. And I'll give it to Kamala, she's a whole lot more slick than I was expecting, although not exactly a hard feat. When you get all the questions in advance, you have months to deliberate and practice, and then of course the final product that's released to the people is highly edited. But anyway, she's slick. She's a typical slick politician. Now she wants to seem as a border hawk. This coming from the person who's been saying this for years.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
These are God's children. These aren't just throwaways.
Your immigrant status, whatever it is, does not in our mind's eye designate you as a criminal. I support our sanctuary law. Abolish ICE. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
She's a complete hypocrite. It's obvious that she's running from her record, and it's also blatantly obvious that she can't be trusted. At one point she said this:
My values have not changed.
Quote, my values have not changed. So she says she's not going to do all these things. As president, I won't ban fracking, I won't do, all this radical stuff, but then follows it up with, my values have not changed. So if your values have not changed, Kamala, then I guess you still represent all this, right?
Reduce red meat specifically.
Yes.
The Boston Marathon bomber, they should be able to vote.
I think we should have that conversation.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes, and I'm in favor of banning fracking. I am prepared to pass a Green New Deal. I support a mandatory buyback program. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. The idea that more police equals more safety, that's just wrong.
Policing, as we know, goes all the way back to slave patrols and that idea of...
You are absolutely right.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
We need to take a look at these budgets.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should.
70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic.
Chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? And yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing.
She's just another slick politician delivering totally empty, vapid talking points. There's no actual substance here. She didn't offer any real concrete solutions to the myriad of problems that her administration has caused.
But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it.
You have been vice president for 3.5 years.
American people.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%.
More economic illiterate nonsense. Prices are still too high, and we acknowledge that prices are high. She first of all takes a victory lap. We've done fantastic on inflation. No, you haven't. You caused crippling, historic levels of hyperinflation, and now that they're naturally going down after 3 years of economic pain, she wants credit for that? And then claims she's going to be tackling the issue by going after, quote, price gouging, which isn't even a real thing, and then she mentions a tax credit. What does that have to do with inflation? Inflation is an imbalance in money supply and supply and demand. This person has no idea what she's talking about. When she was asked what she would do on day one if elected, her answer is so void of substance that honestly, she would have probably been better not saying anything, because essentially she said nothing.
If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward, in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and in an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families.
We're going to strengthen the middle class. We're going to reduce inflation. How exactly are you going to do that? Well, Dana Bash doesn't seem so curious. She's going to do it through the power of joy. Absolutely nothing here has changed. I know some people are going to be foolish enough to just fall for these empty words, but I just can't see the majority of productive citizens falling for this complete nonsense. Democrats are playing up her performance, but personally, I'm just not seeing it. If this is what Kamala's got, I think Kamala Harris is going to have a very hard time on the debate stage. It seems the strategy here is vague, empty platitudes and pointing the finger at Donald Trump and blaming him for all your woes. But obviously, there's a little bit of a hole in that argument.
Deserve, which is a new way forward, and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
Why didn't I think of that?
The people advocating.
That's where we're going to end it at, man. I love you guys, man. And I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life. It has to be too big to rig. Too big to rig, you guys. You can see we're not against a candidate. We are against a machine. You know, they seen that Joe Biden blew the motor and the transmission. He blew the machine. He blew the machine. And they had to go back in there and rig it back up, fix something. And this is what this is all they got. And now their only winning point is joy. And first woman, black woman, if she's not black, if she's black, I don't know, don't care. But first woman, black president, black woman president, that's their only thing they can run off of. And it's sad that we have to hear identity politics. You know, but can't not one Kamala Harris voter tell me or you, shout out to them beautiful patriots around the world, my brothers and sisters, one love to the human race, but they can't tell us one good reason why this lady should be the president. Matter of fact, everybody's laughing. World leaders are laughing. Everybody is laughing. They're falling down, laughing. They're laughing so bad, they're crying. You ever laugh so much you started crying? Some people start crying and farting. People are laughing so hard, they're crying and farting. But she didn't like that news that they gave her. Yeah, I know she's looking back saying, yeah, even CNN wasn't impressed. A lot of people, as you can see, a lot of people, a lot of voters, you know, they're disappointed after this interview after 40 days. 40 days. 40 days. And it's sad that we have to even have topics and talk about stuff like this. 40 days for a so-called presidential candidate. I don't know. I don't know. You know, the woke culture of no common sense. Can we please bring common sense back? I know Trump didn't hurt your feelings, you know, but it got to be facts over emotions. We got to bring common sense back. I advocate for common sense. Common sense, people. Common sense. Get over it. Get out your feelings. Because I tell you now, he's going to come in there and call it for what it is and be real. And it might hurt your feelings again, but it's truth. You know, we speak truth and we've hurt people's feelings as well. I've hurt people's feelings, but it's truth. I love y'all, man. Bless you all and your families as we go through these woke, disgraceful, corrupt, sick times together, man. Prayers for Trump team and his Trump campaign and Trump and his family, as you know, they are against a corrupt system. You seen what just happened with you know, this whole RFK Jr. situation. And we're sending, you know, protect him and prayers for him and his family. RFK Jr., man. We know his background, his family background, you know. And now he's joined teams with Trump, you know, a unified government. This is some big things that are taking place. I don't know if you guys see what's going on. I'm pretty sure y'all know what's going on, but it's you know, it's huge, man. And we don't know what to expect next. But prayers for them and you know, and this campaign, their team, man, you know, they are in danger. I just be real with you, man. You know, threat to democracy. No, threat to their corrupt system. But I love y'all. And I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life, man. Let me know what y'all think of this. And I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.